Okay, ladies, today I want to talk to you about setting goals that will stick. Now, I don't know about you. I've had many times in my life, I have lots of friends. We talk about this. We are so good at trying to set goals, but yet for some reason we fail at it. We sabotage it. We all start the month of January and we're like, I'm going to set this resolution and be true to it. And then we find ourselves just not being able to stick to our goals. So today I'm just going to give you some practical advice and maybe some tips to think about when you're setting goals so that they're going to stick, so that you can feel like you're succeeding in setting those goals and you're not failing all the time. So think about yourself, think about your life. Some of the goals that I've had is I want to yell at my kids less. When I get frustrated, my initial reaction is to go from 0 to 6 pretty quickly. I raise my voice. My kids will say, oh, you're a mean mom, not nice mom. So I've just had this resolution and goal in my mind that I just want to yell at my kids less. I just don't want that to be my first response when I'm frustrated and I'm angry. I've had goals about spending money, setting a family budget and trying to be true to that. I've had goals with weight loss and exercise. Some of my friends, I know they talk a lot about being on social media too much and wanting to set goals that way. For others, it's, they want to finish a degree or a training for their job or finish some project they've had in the home. Just whatever it is, we run the gamut of reasons why we set goals. But what I want to talk about today is how can we go about those goals being something that are going to stick and that we're going to actually accomplish them. So here's just a couple tips that hopefully will help you in your ability to set goals and that they'll stick. Here's the first tip. Be specific about your goals. Don't be elusive in what you're trying to accomplish. Be very specific and define it. What is it that I want to accomplish? What is this goal? And even define how long you think it's going to take to accomplish the goal. It has to be measurable. The goal needs to be measurable so you know if you're being successful or not. So that means you need to define it. If it's not defined or it's unclear, like what am I exactly hoping to accomplish? Then you're not going to accomplish it because you're going to move the goalpost, right? Depending on how you're feeling in that particular day. So it's really important. Be specific about what is the goal that you have and how long you think it's going to take to accomplish that goal. Here's the second tip. Set benchmarks along the way to reward yourself. When you think about, especially for those of us that have goals as far as food or exercise, if you've gone and you're saying to yourself, okay, I want to lose 25 pounds. And so I'm going to set the goal to be, I'm going to need about 4 to 6 months to try and accomplish that. I actually don't really know. That might be crazy, but let's just say you set the goal for yourself to 4 to 6 months. Okay, so you're going to need to, let's say in week 2, you're going to want to have a reward for yourself. Like, you know what, I've been really good. I've been sticking with the diet. I've been exercising consistently, 4 times a week. So just reward yourself along the way. If you guys have set a budget and you're really trying to curb spending, and so you've been really good, you're sticking to it, it's okay to then go celebrate once along the way or a couple times just to kind of reward yourself for sticking to it. Rewards are good. They're helpful to us. They're encouraging. So don't be afraid to reward yourself and to kind of set some benchmarks along the way that just encourage you to stick to it, right? To stick to the goal. Here's the third tip. This is an important one because this is what I think catches a lot of us off guard and derails us from our pursuit of keeping and setting and accomplishing our goals. And it's be prepared that you're going to mess up. I think sometimes as women, we're just so hard on ourselves and we're like, I yelled at my kids, so I guess I'm a terrible mom and I can't do it. And this is just who I am. And I'm a broken person. I'm going to mess my kids up and I'm just a hopeless cause. So then we just stop. We stop pursuing the goal. Or you're on a diet and you cannot stand the fact that you're not eating ice cream. And so one night you eat a huge bowl that could have been maybe a week's worth of ice cream and you tanked. And so we want to just be like, man, and it just totally derails us. But the truth is, be prepared in setting your goal that you will probably have times where you're going to mess up or you're not going to do quite what you want. And so be prepared for that. Here's what I say to a lot of my friends, this is what I have to say to myself. Tomorrow is a new day. Don't let the fact that you mess up derail you from continuing to pursue that goal. Be prepared that you're going to fail, that you're going to disappoint yourself along the way, and just be ready for it. So when it happens, just be like, you know what? I messed up. That wasn't good. That wasn't what I want. But tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to be back on track, making the choices that I need to make. Here's the last tip, and this is the bedrock of this whole conversation, really needs to be rooted in this tip, and that is don't lose sight of the real win. Here's what I mean by that. We need to make sure that the motivation behind anything that we do in setting goals needs to come from the right place. If I'm setting goals of not eating unhealthily, or I'm setting goals for exercise, and my only stated goal is I want to look great in this bathing suit because we're going on a cruise. Well, that's a little short-sighted, that's temporary, and it's a little shallow. Not that we don't want to look good in a bathing suit, ladies, I get that. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't really have any deep-rooted weight to it. It's not something that's really coming from a place of wanting to honor God. And so what it's going to do is just kind of bring us to chasing things that don't really matter. And I think in any goals that we set, and if we really want them to stick in our life, we need to make sure that our motivation is right behind the goals that we set. You know, if we set a goal about how we're spending our money, and the whole goal is that we're saving up this big thing of money because we want to buy this luxury car or go on this European vacation. And so we're just fixated on that goal. But then when we're saving our money and earning money, we're never giving any to God. Like, that's a problem because our motivation isn't right. And I think if our motives are wrong and they're not focused on the right thing, then it's going to cause trouble for us. So here's the thing, ladies, when we're setting goals, whatever it is, whether it's weight loss, whether it's healthy living or money or social media, let's make sure that we're coming from the place that at the bedrock of our goal setting is coming from a heart that says, I want to honor God. Because I want to honor God, I want to be disciplined in this area of my life. Because I want to honor God, this is what we're going to do because I know that this is going to help me in my pursuit of God. And let that be the bedrock of your goal setting. Let me just share this verse with you that I think is really important as you think about this. And here it is. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 says, For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. Ladies, we do not have a spirit of fear and timidity, but one of love and power and self-discipline. So when we're setting goals for ourselves in whatever area it is, remember that God has given us a spirit of self-discipline, that we don't have to live our lives just willy-nillying around. Like that, the power of the Holy Spirit in our lives will help us to accomplish goals, and that our heart should be, I want to honor God in every area of my life, even if it's food consumption or just being healthy or the way we spend our money or the way that what we care about as far as identity goes, to remember that it should all be focused and directed at honoring God. And I think if we can keep that in mind, then we're going to set goals that actually have real value for our lives, and we're not going to chase after the temporary things that don't really matter. So ladies, use these tips. Remember this the next time you set goals, and let's try to set goals that can stick in our life and that come from a heart that wants to honor God.